So it is 1:02 and we'll go into Transportation Committee. And Senator Ward, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, we are in Senate Transportation and I welcome everyone. Do I hear a motion to go into exec? Senator Sherman moves exec, Senator Ward seconds, and why don't we do 11:09? We'll just go numerically. Relative to the approval for off-highway recreational. So I made the OHRV organization and the Timberlane organization work on an amendment, and that's what we see in 1109. It's been worked on and approved by both the OHRV organizations, the Timberlane organizations, and Representative Renzullo. So beautiful work. Thank you very much for all of you that
Madam
worked.
Chair, I don't think I got a copy of that in the stack here. Peter, do you have one?
So which number?
1715S.
Yeah, I wasn't in the file. I mean, I can look on with the chair, but if you could.
I'm seeing if I have an extra one here. Here,
Thank you.
I put one copy in my folders. Okay, so basically what this does, the language this changes is in bold, and it says, if an abutter can show damage or deterioration to such a road that limits their ability to access their property resulting from recreational use, the governing body of the city or town may adopt regulations to show or limit the operation or use of a way in order to mitigate damage or deterioration.
I'll move on to pass.
On the underlined,
Underlying bill.
so Senator Waters moves on to pass. I'll second.
I'll move on to pass on amendment 1715.
And I will second. Any questions?
I'll just say thank you again, Madam Chair, for attending to the really just foul concerns of the timber landowners, and I hope that this will be a good solution to that particular issue.
Well, I'm hoping that it's a good temporary fix until we get to the commission. All right. So are you ready for the vote? All those in favor of ought to pass as amended on 1109, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All
Move
right.
on to pass as amended.
What?
I'll move on to pass as amended.
All right. Second. Ought to pass as amended from Senator Waters and seconded by Senator Sherman. All those in favor of ought to pass as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent? Anybody want consent?
Second.
Senator Sherman moves consent. Senator Ricciardi seconds. All those in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
I'll take it out.
Thank you, Senator Warren. All right.
Just a reminder, everyone use their mics just for the live stream. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
$14.01. I will admit I This bill prohibits both the Department of Safety and inspection stations from sharing vehicle mileage information with certain authorities without consent. I do have some concerns about this based on the, concerns of the, Department of Motor Vehicles.
I'll be happy to move ITL if you'd like.
All right, Senator Waters moves an expedient to legislate. I will second. Any discussion? All those in favor of an expedient to legislate, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Senator Sherman moves consent. I'll second. All those in favor of consent, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Senator Waters, you want to take this out?
Surely, thank you.
Just a reminder, the consent blurb, since all of these bills are going to be on an addendum calendar, the consent blurbs have to be done today. You're not leaving the building until they're done.
You'll be after me.
Thank you, Senator Birdsall.
I'll pull over beside the road in Northwood and I'll respond to your text.
All right. Okay, so 1432. There was also an amendment on this one.
I'll move on to pass. I'll move on to pass. So we can get to the amendment.
Can I ask a question about this? About the bill? And my question is, this really isn't necessary, is it, I mean, this bill in the first place, since these kind of funds would not be expended without legislative approval through the 10-year plan?
Well,
I mean, I don't see how this would happen.
well, remember, there's a study already going through. So if you look at the bill as a whole, Senator Waters and I had concerns where, if you look at section 2, the use of toll roads, we are already using toll credits
For the study.
for the study. So to keep this in there, to keep that in there would, in essence, terminate. Also, in the section 7 through 9, Senator Waters did bring up the fact that he had concerns where it says expended for the planning, construction, operation, or management of passenger rail projects. We already have some rail platforms.
Right.
So does that mean that we wouldn't be able to maintain those platforms since we're already using them, like for the Downeaster, and I think there's a few more. So we wanted to just kind of make sure that there were no funds expended for the Nashville Manchester Concord without authorization. And that's once the study is done.
So I agree with everything you just said, and I'm just wondering if the amendment makes sense to me. I've read it. I'm just wondering, why do we have to pass this at all? And that's my question, is if we, and I think I've made it clear why I'm asking that question. I just don't see the utility of the bill, given the implications of the original bill, and I'm okay with the amendment if we decide to do that, but I'm just wondering, why do we need this in the first place?
I'd be glad to accept, Madam Chair. So, it is clear that over several years, there have been concerns about how we potentially will be funding rail. And I think it's entirely appropriate to clarify for those folks who are anxious about this, that we have a legislative process through the 10-year plan, which is the appropriate place to deal with these issues on on projects. And I think that this, in a sense, sends that direction, that this is the process we're going to use on that, and to assure people, particularly who are concerned about it, that no action will be taken without a legislative approval. So, I mean, in some ways, one could say that, yeah, well, we always have the 10-year plan and so on and so forth. But I think this is important. And I also personally believe that, we are the policymaking branch, and that it is our purpose, our authority to clarify issues of policy when it comes to expenditure of funds. So I think it's useful for both those reasons. I guess I have a question to ask Madam Chair about the amendment, but I guess I'll move on to pass on 1432 so we can get to that amendment.
I'll second it.
And on the amendment, so the question I had, Madam Chair, maybe for somebody from DOT, was we did have some question on, if you turn to the original bill, on lines 14 to 16. So we're back to the original bill on lines 14 to 16.
Yep.
So your amendment deals with paragraph A. But in the second section here, we have the authorization of the toll credit use for the study. And I had thought that maybe we had some discussion about not striking that, just to be sure that, that was still in there as authority to use the toll credits that have already been assigned to the study. So
This is a replace all though.
Yeah.
So it takes out section 2 altogether and
oh, okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator
that-
Sherman, for being able to read when I couldn't. Never mind.
That was the direction I told OLS, and then when I got it back, I realized that section 2 is gone, and I realized that's probably how they dealt with it.
Thank you. So I'll move on to pass on 1760.
I'll second.
Senator Waters moves on to pass on, 14th. Oh, the amendment, yes, I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So Senator Waters moved the amendment, Senator Sherman seconded it.
And I'll move on to pass as amended.
And I'll second it. All those in favor of ought to pass as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Would you like consent, Madam Chair?
Sure.
I'll move
Second.
consent.
You got that? Peter?
I'm seconding.
All those in favor of consent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I'll take that one out, just in case anyone pulls it off and wants questions. Okay, so this is 1474 is going to be probably a discussion. So I did have an amendment drafted, or I had Dan Bennett and Director Marasco draft up an amendment. And
For the purpose
So,
of discussion,
yeah.
you want me to move on to pass on 1474?
sure,
So I do move.
Second.
Senator Waters moves ought to pass, Senator Ward seconds. Discussion. So I had Director Marasco, obviously, we had the original bill that came in that wanted a complete change in the inspection. And I personally was not comfortable with the complete change. And I know that what the amendment does in 1790 gives a grace period of 30 days for individuals who, for some reason, don't seem that they can afford to get their vehicle inspected after a purchase. So it gives them another 30 days to maybe come up with the money to be able to get, in case there's any repairs that need to be done. I specifically think this, I'm presuming would be specifically for, let's say, used vehicles. So this gives them a grace period of 30 days. Now, some people may feel that why try and fix something that's not broken, but that's why this is up for discussion, to see where the committee wants to go. Senator Waters.
Yeah, Madam Chair, thanks for this. I really think this is a great compromise. And the 30 days, what came out of the hearing, which I thought was so important, was the potential disparity between the color of the tag on the plate and on the inspection sticker. And this takes care of that, so that will allow law enforcement to do their job, but also that 30 days is, I think, very reasonable. And I understand why the original bill was brought in, to try to help some folks out and to, just do only what we really needed to do. And I think this is a good way to go.
Senator Sherman.
Just a question, in lines 5 through 7, there's this cross out. I'm trying to figure out what that does.
Well, actually, I need some clarification. When I was speaking with Director Morosco and DMV, they felt that this was repetitive. Now, I did get, and I didn't get a chance to call him back, because I got a response from the individual from OLS who was doing the amendment, and he seemed to think that it did make a difference, but so I do need some clarification on that. But they felt that it was, they kept reading it and they felt it was just repetitive.
Should we ask the director?
Is he still here? Is there anybody here from DMV? No? Okay. Because
it's kind of weird,
yeah,
because it actually is an exact repeat
of the
of
sentence
the
before.
phrase right before it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think we're okay. I really do on it, but
We can always,
we would have time to think about it, because it's got to go back to the House for concurrence. So
correct.
if there's any issue that does come up, we'd have time to
Are
fix
we
it.
voting on these tomorrow?
Thursday.
I mean,
Because I'm gonna be gone next week, so I wanted to make sure all my bills got out
Got it.
before I
Yeah,
left.
We'd have time.
It looks like it's redundant.
I agree, and I'll call the attorney just to verify it, and if there's any tweaking that needs to be done, we could do it in committee of conference.
Yeah.
The only reason it would not be, if I could just say one more thing, Madam Chair, the only reason it might not be redundant is in line 4, they're talking about newly registered vehicles. And then in line 5, they're talking about and vehicles. So
Yeah.
that would include the non-newly registered vehicles.
And that's where the attorney was saying that he believed that this would eliminate inspections on used vehicles.
Right, so I'm wondering if we need to keep it in there.
I think you're right.
Should we do that as a committee amendment to the amendment?
I think that's the fail-safe here, isn't it?
Yeah. So did you get that?
So I'll move a committee amendment, which will be 1970, removing the strikeout, excuse me, 1790, removing the strikeouts on lines 5 through 7.
Okay.
So
I'll,
I just want to be clear about this. So we're gonna reintroduce the struck language from line 5 through 7 for this amendment. That'll be the committee.
correct.
The committee amendment would be this whole amendment with that restored.
Do we need to vote on that change, or do we vote on it just as a committee?
As a committee amendment.
Okay,
So you,
So I move the committee amendment.
I'll second.
Senator Waters moves the committee amendment, Senator Sherman seconds it. Any other discussion? All those in favor of ought to pass as amended on
We'll go to the amendment first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
All those in favor of the committee amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'll move ought to pass as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of ought to pass as amended, say aye.
Aye.
I'd
Opposed?
be happy to take it out. Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we want to move, do we want consent? All those in favor?
Aye.
Senator Sherman moves consent, Senator Ward seconds. All those in favor of
Aye.
consent, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Senator Sherman will take this out. Last but not least, 2022. We have 3 amendments. 2 were requested by the Department of Transportation. The first one is a discussion between Senator Waters and I. I have taken out the language on the project name Nashua, Merrimack, and Bedford, and moving it back. The House put in an amendment to transfer Continental Boulevard to the town. We pulled that piece out. And that's what 1525S, 1525S does.
Do you want an underlying ought to pass motion on the bill? Do you need that first?
We have to do each an amendment?
No, but we ought to do an ought to pass on the bill so we
I'll
can
be
do the
happy.
Oh, yeah,
amendment.
I'm sorry.
I'll do an ought to pass on the bill.
All right, and I'll second.
Second.
Senator Ward will second.
So, I guess that why don't we talk them through, and then I will do one committee amendment, which will combine whatever we want.
Yep.
Okay.
So 1525S removes, keeps Continental Boulevard in Merrimack with the DOT.
Yeah. Very good.
1721S is requested by the Department of Transportation. And in the past, any changes to the New Hampshire Transportation Council were done through the 10-year plan. And we have made, I am a member of the New Hampshire Transportation Council, and we've made some changes to the makeup. So as you see on line 13, apparently, DOT can correct me, but it looks like that they've done away with the Scenic and Cultural Byways Council. But it doesn't make any difference because Department of Transportation has always done the work that the Scenic and Cultural Byways Council has told them to do. So they're changing the language to require that the Department of Transportation accepts such locally designated scenic byway into the system. And wherever it says the council, the Department of Transportation, like in line 17, the Department of Transportation in consultation with the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Also line 23, without a public hearing in each municipality that the proposed local scenic and cultural byway would be located in. I'm sorry. The makeup of the transportation is in the next one. So this is just language that the DOT had requested to change.
Good.
Wherever it talks about the council, it puts in the Department of Transportation.
Okay.
All right?
Good.
1723S is the change in the New Hampshire Transportation Council. New Hampshire, UNH has never participated in the New Hampshire Transportation Council. So what they have done, they've added, I'm sorry, a member of the New Hampshire College and University Council appointed by the president of that organization. They've never appointed anyone. So what they've done is they've added the commissioner, instead of the director of office and strategic initiatives, a commissioner of the Department of Energy, because we're dealing with a lot of information on electric cars, the infrastructure on EVs, so it really makes a lot of sense to add them in there.
Very good.
And
I'd be happy to move the committee amendment composed of 1723, 1525, and 1721.
and I'll second that. Any questions, concerns, comments? Right. All those in favor of 1520, we just do the committee amendment?
Yeah, the committee amendment. Yep.
All those in favor of the committee amendment, which makes up 1525, 1721, and 1723S, say, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Are we on to OTPA? Do you need an OTPA?
Let's have the chair make that a motion.
Oh, yeah,
This is the big, the 20,
This
the
is
20,
last but
22
not
10-year highway plan presented by Chairwoman Fritzl.
I'll second.
I move ought to pass as amended.
With that intro. You do that same
House
thing
Bill
for the second?
2022. Senator Sherman seconds.
And I just have one comment I'd like to. I just want to make sure that, and it's probably not for the record, but it's for the live stream, that we all heard the concerns on the Golf Links Road. And I spoke with the commissioner about it. I think we all heard that were it to go into the 10-year plan, it would go in either funded and take funds from other already allocated funds, or it would sit there with no funds attached, which would have zero significance. So my recommendation would be that when they have a final agreement, signed, sealed, delivered on the balsams, that they bring it back to the committee or for consideration, and that we will promise them to have a full hearing on it at that level, maybe as a bill next year or
Right.
whatever. But I think it's appropriate not to have it in the 10-year plan, given those caveats and the fact that there is nothing in writing right now to say that the balsams will move forward.
That is correct, and I think there was an agreement back in 2017 where it needed to be bonded. They needed to get the funding, and that has yet to happen, so.
I just wanted to make sure they knew they weren't forgotten, and people made a long trip to come here to testify, and so I just wanted to bring that up.
Where are we? Ought to pass as amended?
Yes, we need a vote.
Okay. All those in favor of ought to pass as amended, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I would recommend we don't put this on consent because I'm sure that there's going to be some questions So, and I'll take that out.
I move we get out of exec.
Second.
All those in favor of moving out of exec, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And since we are meeting in person this year, I will try and get us together in June-ish for our luncheon.
And I would like to say thank you to the chair for such wonderful leadership.
And it's been a pleasure working with you guys this year. It's been very easy. We've made it very easy. So with that, we are finished our business in Senate Transportation, and I close the hearing.
Good work, Madam Chair.
You're done.
Good.